Found a really cool article today. United States Air Force backs space energy grid with Starcatcher SBIR Phase 1. A space energy grid. That in itself is fascinating. Definitely want to get into this story. The company is in the process of creating Starcatcher Network, which is said to be the first space energy grid. The possibilities of that becoming a thing and what it could do are incredible. Starcatcher has been awarded a Small Business Innovation SBIR Phase 1 contract by the AFWERX to develop space to space power beaming technology aimed at enhancing low Earth orbit spacecraft. The initiative is a response to U.S. Department of Air Force's need to augment satellite power capabilities to address immediate operational demands and counter increasing threats from nations such as Russia and China. Iran also has satellites, India has everybody. Satellites are not an uncommon thing now. So, what are we talking about here? We're talking about a network of satellites that collect solar energy and have the ability to transmit that via very likely some form of laser or emission such as that. They don't talk about it very much in this article. This article is from Air Force Technology, and it's very much a general article. The company is in the process of creating Starcatcher Network. The network's objective is to overcome current power constraints faced by satellites and other spacecraft. Once operational, the network intends to transmit broad spectrum energy to spacecraft situated in LEO, low Earth orbit, and potentially further afield. The network is designed to supply on-demand energy to solar arrays of client spacecraft, providing them energy concentrations that surpass what the sun can offer. So what they're talking about is the ability to beam energy, and that's what they call it. They call it beaming energy because obviously I wanted to go a little bit more into this to kind of find out what this technology was. And I found this article on space.com from 2023. Scientists beam solar power to Earth from space for first time ever. The Space Solar Power Demonstrator's MAPLE experiment was able to wirelessly transfer collected solar power to receivers in space and directed energy on Earth. This is very much the exact same process. It's not the same company, but this is clearly the same process. The solar energy is collected in a bank of batteries, or however it's stored. I assume it's a bank of batteries, and then transferred via, like they say, wireless transmission. I'm just going to say it's probably a laser to a receiving device. In this case, they said the solar panels of a satellite or something else. The experiment proves the viability of tapping into a near limitless supply of power in the form of energy from the sun from space. Which, if you think about it, with no interference from the atmosphere, the ability to collect sunlight and store it and be able to transmit it is an incredible power source. An incredible power source. And the fact that we're able to do that is promising for the future. Other forms of energy that don't involve anything polluting, nothing that would destroy anything. How can you protest against solar energy collected from space beamed to Earth? I mean, how is that even possible? No less beamed from satellite to other device. The wireless power transfer was achieved by Microwave Array or Power Transfer Low Orbit Experiment, MAPLE, an array of flexible and lightweight microwave power transmitters, which is one of 3 instruments carried by the Space Solar Power Demonstrator. SSPD-1 was launched in January 2023 as part of the California Institute of Technology's Space Solar Power Project. The primary goal of which is to harvest solar power in space and then transmit it to the surface of the Earth. And as we can see, that same process is going to be used by the United States Air Force to create a power grid in space. So that we can keep in space for much longer durations of time. It's an array of spy satellites. So it could even give a little bit of a power boost to this guy, the X-37. And if you don't know what the X-37 is, the X-37 is the U.S. Air Force's, they call it, secret space plane that has made numerous flights. Numerous flights, has been seen numerous times by a number of different amateur astronomers with telescopes. It's not been seen doing anything other than operating on its own, linked up with a different satellite. I assume that it's a repair, replenish, brings fuel up to spy satellites, communication satellites. And what we're talking about here, instead of having to use the X-37 as a ferry, you could power the X-37, give it additional power because it does utilize a solar panels. It utilizes solar panels. So you'd be able to keep it up there for even longer mission durations. And you wouldn't have to use it for the replenishment of spy satellites or communication satellites, except when it comes to their physical rocket fuel that they use on their thrusters. That obviously, unless you can do one that's electric, if you can do that, then there'd be no reason. You could almost have it up there for, it's limitless. The possibility is limitless. And that doesn't even go into the possibility of beaming that energy down to Earth. Clean, safe energy. Well, the future is now. So, the U.S. Air Force has made its first step in contracting for an energy grid in space. I think that's incredible. I think that's an incredible thing. Oh, we just had a big honk outside. I live on a very dangerous road, so when you hear that, you kind of shudder. So, but energy grid in space, a space power grid. Be able to replenish satellites, communication satellites, and spacecraft. I did a previous video on this channel about 7th generation fighters, and that they would be capable of flying from Earth into space and back. Wouldn't it be great if we'd be able to give them additional power and staying power, quote unquote, in space by being able to virtually refill them with as much power as they could utilize up there? This could be groundbreaking. This could definitely be groundbreaking. I'm excited for it. The future is limitless. As long as we're smart. As long as we're smart. Well, with that, I sure hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, I hope you'll consider hitting the subscribe and the like. And if so, I will catch you next time. Thank you.